It's showtime.
What's going on, guys? Django Fett here, hunting down games, comics, TV shows, movies, and more, and this is a review for Deadpool 2. So this is a different setup than usual. I'm going to use the microphone like this time. I got my Deadpool stuff, I got Cable, got Deadpool, and the Deadpool statue right there. So Deadpool 2 is the sequel to the beloved first movie we've all been wanting for quite some time, and now it's on to the second movie. So this time around, it's not directed by Tim Miller, but by the guy who did John Wick and, unfortunately, Atomic Blonde. It stars Ryan Reynolds, as usual. It stars Josh Brolin as Cable, Thanos from the MCU, and it also stars Domino and a bunch of people, X-Force, Colossus, and a bunch of returning people from the original Deadpool 1. And I have to say, I was actually kind of disappointed with this movie. Now, that's not to say that I hated this movie by any means, but I was just disappointed with the overall product with the movie when compared to the first movie. I really enjoyed the first movie, and I thought it was pretty special, and I was a fan of Deadpool before even the first movie, so many people will say, oh, you're a bandwagon fan. I watched, I knew about Deadpool way before that. Let me talk about the stuff that I really liked about it first. So first off, Ryan Reynolds is good as Deadpool. He's fantastic. Josh Brolin, fantastic as Cable. He just really surprised me as well. I forget the lady who plays as Domino, but she was awesome too. Her power was luck, and it was just surprising how much luck she had, how it played out for her, and it was amazing when seeing her in action. It was actually pretty cool, and how events transpired in her favor. I really liked that. Many people were like, oh, like even Deadpool was like, hey, look, it's not a power, and then it surprised him and it surprised the audience. So I like that fourth wall breaking right there. And also, speaking of fourth wall breaking, this movie is teeming with fourth wall breaks, though not as much as I thought it would be, especially like with the first movie. So I thought it would be more this time around, but it's kind of toned down this time around. Also, the comedy is great. The action is good for the most part. I love the final act. The after credits scene is... The after credit scenes by far are the best part of the whole movie. They're fantastic. I'm not going to spoil anything from that, but you have to see it for the after credit scene alone. It is just... it is fantastic. And I just love how this movie tries to make fun of superhero films. Though, I will say it plays into those cliches and it kind of hurts it in a way. So I didn't like that. So, with that being said, let's get into more of the problems I had with the film. I wasn't like busting out laughing like I did with the first movie or chuckling the whole time. I was laughing, but I was just more subdued this time around, and so was my friend who was watching it with me. I thought the jokes really worked, but it was a little too much. And I felt like Ryan Reynolds at times just went a little too over the top, and it just for the sake of it, and there was just no point to it. And I feel like the director who was in John Wick, and that's a great movie, but he made this more action oriented, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but lacking in the story department. And what I mean is that it goes for a very serious tone, and the first one is also a serious tone in the beginning as well. I mean, it works with that, but I felt like the biggest problem with the film is the execution. The execution is the biggest problem when it comes to this film. On script, everything seems great, but execution-wise, it just doesn't work in the end. It's just not a big film. It's not a big and unique film. Because Deadpool 1 did it. Deadpool 2 is a sequel, but it doesn't do anything unique with that. And I just felt like without Tim Miller leaving, who was the director for the first movie, it really hurt the film, and it really showed. With the writing, with the execution in general, I felt like Tim Miller knew how to rein in Ryan Reynolds. And in the second movie, it was Ryan Reynolds just doing whatever he wants. And I felt like that hurt the film tremendously. And I feel like the jokes just didn't land. They didn't make really that many Thanos jokes at all. They made one Thanos joke, but that's about it. It was just like the afterthoughts. It was just like a really quick joke, and then that's it. Like, He could have done more with that, you know? He's in the MCU and he's playing as Cable. I mean, there's got to be more jokes than that. Come on. There's this kid who just shows up, who Deadpool has to save, and he's awful. He's pretty awful. I mean, I think that's trying to be like the point. I think that's kind of like the point, to show like bad villains, and that's how they are in superhero films. And this movie is just trying to make fun of superhero films, but it goes to that cliche and falls on its ass at the same time with those cliches and suffers. So my rating for Deadpool 2 is... I think it's a good film. I still think it's a really good film. I just think it's not nearly as good as this first movie in almost every sense, and I feel like it just doesn't work as I thought it would. Kind of expected more, since Deadpool 1 delivered tremendously, so I'd like to see Tim Miller come back with the third film and just really save the series this time around, because I feel like Deadpool 2 just kind of went backwards instead of forwards. Next is one that you guys been looking for me to review, and that is Solo. I'm not looking forward to that movie at all, but I'm going to be seeing it. The only reason I'm seeing it is because somebody's paying me to see it. Unfiltered thoughts, by all means. He's not paying me to give a biased opinion, just my honest, unfiltered opinion. So I will try to review that, see how that goes. I'm just not looking forward to it. I'm not expecting very much at all. So that's my thoughts of Deadpool 2. Don't forget to please like this video, comment down below your thoughts of Deadpool 2 in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, Django Fett, if you haven't already. And don't forget to donate to my Patreon if you can, to help support the channel. And I'll see you guys on the next review. Peace.